Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star Part 304 based on novel. So let's start. Luo Feng was shocked. If it weren't for the spirit of Shawu Wing, he wouldn't have been able to tell that it was a trap. Human. A ripple came. Grab my core. A light spot was attracted and flew toward the white wing. Star Tower was close to the white wings and the light spot. Grab it, and I'll tell you how to make me recognize you and seal your godly power in it. I've grabbed it. Luo Feng let out his godly body, and he grabbed the light spot. It was a strange white bead. I've grabbed it with my godly power, but I can't seal my life imprint on it. Don't rush it, the ripple said. The more powerful a true treasure is, the more complex the process it. Grab the core and put it in your godly body. Luo Feng couldn't help but laugh inside. If he put the core component inside Star Tower, the light would be let out instantly. In my body? I don't dare to do that. I've decided to let my soul slave try first, said Luo Feng. Soul slave? Your soul slave won't succeed, said the spirit. One needs to have a perfect life gene level and great willpower. Do you have such a soul slave? I can at least try, said Luo Feng. Then try, said the spirit. It kept waiting. Once it went into Star Tower, it would be able to kill Luo Feng. Star Tower took a step back. A black being flew out of Star Tower and went up in the sky. It was Mosha Body. I come here and make you recognize me as your master. Mosha Body flew toward that bead. The space around the white wing was quiet, and Mosha Body could exist in that space. You let your soul slave do it outside. The white wing was startled, as it couldn't kill Luo Feng outside. Why not? Luo Feng asked. Mosha tried, and nothing happened. Only those who can fulfill the conditions can succeed, said the spirit. Your soul slave won't be able to do it. Why didn't you say so before? Asked Luo Feng. Even if it's a powerful true treasure, it won't have any reactions. However, nothing happened when my soul slave tried just now. I can say for sure that it's a fake core. Give me the real one. It's different for supreme true treasures. You're lying, said Luo Feng. Give me the real core. The ripple stayed silent for a while. You'll never be able to get out, said Luo Feng. You have to have a master. Give me your real core. I'll do it once you give me the real core. Damn it. Damn human. How did you find out? You have finally stopped pretending? Luo Feng jeered. You're not as smart as you think. You started to set me up the first time I talked to you. You started with your broken memories and the fight, which shocked me. Indeed, it shocked me as I couldn't imagine that such a true treasure could be damaged. And then you told me that the conditions are hard. Perfect life gene and willpower. And then, you wanted a pinnacle true treasure. Ha ha ha. One claim after another, you were just trying to lower my guard down. After all, you've been trying to stop me by giving all those conditions. Luo Feng smirked and continued. Lots of great beings aren't sharp enough. They might be hesitant if they could easily get valuables. However, if the conditions are high, they would be thrilled to know that they matched the criteria. Then they wouldn't be suspicious anymore. How did you start to suspect me? Asked the white wings. You told me you needed my help for material to repair yourself, said Luo Feng. And then, you kept telling me how harsh the conditions were and that I needed to sharpen my willpower. These two statements are totally contradictory to each other. Contradictory? Contradictory how? The white wing still hadn't figured out the problem. If I'm really a universe master, said Luo Feng, my godly power will be 100 times life gene. Yet you want a perfect life gene level, which alone is already almost impossible. How can I reach the perfect gene? A real universe master might just give up and not help you anymore. You need my help, so you pretended that I was a universe master. However, the conditions you have can make a real universe master give up. Don't you think it's contradictory? Luo Feng smirked. You also know that I have a supreme true treasure, he went on. If I can really get a supreme true treasure, do you really think I am a universe master with a life gene level of 100 times? Ha ha. It's contradictory. You tried to set me up. You thought if I was excited about matching all the conditions, I wouldn't notice. However, from your perspective, your narrative is full of problems. Luo Feng sneered. It was difficult to realize that it was a trap. Fortunately, Luo Feng was cautious from the very beginning, which was why he had been able to realize it was a trap. The trap is too complex, said Luo Feng. I spotted its flaws. Stop fighting and give me the core. You need to have a master anyway. You? My master, said the White Wings. You're not even close. Only the top-tier beings in Universe Ocean can be my master. You might not be able to utilize my power after an eternity. It'll be to my shame and to my previous owner's shame. How upsetting. Luo Feng shook his head and sighed. Then he gave an order, absorb. Yes, master. Shawu had waited for a long time. Suddenly, 4 wings extended from the 4 portals of Star Tower, and they started to bulge from the size of specks to larger than a star, as if Star Tower had grown 4 wings. Light from the origin. Shawu was excited. Inside this mysterious place, the giant white wings started to shake. So did the blade of light, as if a towering skyscraper was able to collapse. No. The white wings were terrified. Spirit? Your wing has a spirit too. How is it possible? The blade of light started to fly toward that silver wings like moths flying toward a flame, and the giant white wings started to tremble as well, as if the blades were about to move. No. No. The spirit of the white wing tried to control it. Ripples were transmitted to Shawu. You, stop. Why? Shawu asked in a mild-mannered voice. Those energies are mine, said the spirit of the white wings. We are one, they're yours and mine, said Shawu. Though you were more severely injured, I was, too. I need energies to recover. Don't worry. I won't take them all, just enough to recover. Shawu Wing kept sucking the light. One tried to control it. One tried to absorb it. However, there was too much light for the spirit of the white wings to control. The blade of light flew toward the 4 silver wings, and when it touched them, it was completely absorbed, like water touching dry land. Light started to flow on the wings, and the force began to change. Of course, that was only what was happening on the outside. The changes inside were sharper. Luo Feng could feel those changes as the owner of Shawu Wings. Shawu was delicate, and it could grow to several light years high. Those small components in Shawu Wing changed sharply after absorbing the light, like a rotten log turning back into fresh, new wood. So satisfying. Shawu was exhilarated. Master, my broken memories are further recovered. Luo Feng was curious. I can remember how terrifying that fight was, said Shawu. The wing true treasure was completely dismantled. The white wings are the ones on the top, and they were damaged. The other 5 pairs of wings were damaged inside. After a long time, the surface was still intact, but the inner parts were severely damaged. I need energies to recover. Master, you don't have enough godly power to revive me. The light from the origin is turned from my former master, and that's what can repair me. Only that severely damaged white wing needs other material for repair. The Shawu wings kept bulging. Hundreds of millions of kilometers. Billions of kilometers? Tens of billions of kilometers. 1 light year, 2 light years. It kept getting larger and absorbing more light, making the Shawu wings more powerful. No. It's mine. It's mine. The white wing was infuriated. Stop. Bigger. Bigger. Bigger, master, bigger. Shawu sent Luo Feng message after message. Luo Feng was trying his best. Having spent endless time on the battlefields, there was one particularly outstanding battle in which the original Shawu wings had split into 6 pairs of wings. From that, every pair had been inflicted with major damage. The sixth pair, in the topmost position, the white wings, had the empowerment of its origin, so even if it had been drifting about, at least some of the damage could be restored, leaving behind the three most severe injuries that could only be remedied by swallowing various precious materials. It was most fortunate it had the origin, which allowed it to wield overwhelming power. The other 5 pairs of wings were not so fortunate. After splitting up, they had drifted off to unknown places. Every single was severely damaged. Thus, their power levels had dropped very low. Furthermore, they did not have the origin as their core, so when they ran into dangerous situations while drifting, for instance, dangerous places that could annihilate Universe Supreme Masters and destroy pinnacle true treasures, like the 3 major dangerous lands, these wings might pull through every ordeal but would become more severely damaged every time. Until today, the 2 pairs of wings that Luo Feng had obtained were able to swallow the energy from the origin to their heart's content, thereby enabling their self-restoration to happen. Wait a while, wait a while. The pair of white wings was shouting frantically. On the other hand, Shawu was pushing Luo Feng to go on. Bigger, bigger, bigger. The more complete Shawu wings got, the easier it was to become bigger. The larger its size, the more blade rays could be absorbed within the same period. For wings, unbelievably towering and endless. Being scattered over an area of numerous light years, the Shawu wings was now comparable in size to the gigantic pair of white wings. The pair of white wings had started trembling as though about to collapse, and a large quantity of its blade rays were flying towards the Shawu wings to fuse with them. Master, for endless years, countless components within me have been damaged. Now, 10% has recovered. Shawu was apparently very excited. Only 10%? After almost half a day. Luo Feng was secretly taken aback. The requirements for recovery for this grade of supreme true treasure was indeed stringent. Luckily, he had that origin. If he had solely depended on himself, at least within a short period of time, his godly power would never be enough. You are a robber. You are a bandit. This is my energy. Mine. The white wings had started by opposing, but now had abandoned all restraint and was shouting and cursing. Come, come. You can come over and kill me if you are capable of it. You think I am scared of you? Shawu taunted. Moreover, the energy belonged to all 6 pairs of wings. I am not wrong in using part of it for self-restoration now. You want it all for yourself. I am the wing and also the origin, the white pair of wings shouted furiously. Ha ha. You are merely a spirit without an ounce of attack ability, Shawu gloated. As for me, I have a master. Just you wait and see, I know you inside and out. In the future, you will surely be taken by my master. Yeah, dream on, retorted the white wings, full of hatred. Your master is still thinking of collecting me as his. That's impossible. I will find another master before that happens. I will help my new master annihilate that human master of yours, and then I will swallow you. 2 spirits were transmitting ripples to one another. Both were intelligent, but they were not considered life forms. They could not, for instance, go to battlefields and such. They were both spirits born from different components of a supreme true treasure. Should there be the day when Shawu wings and the white wings had to fuse, then of these 2 spirits, only one was destined to survive. Out of the 2, one would face annihilation. This was the reason why the spirits of Shawu and the white wings were going all out. Shawu was thinking of ways to help Luo Feng subdue the white wings. On the other hand, the white wings had found Luo Feng lacking in many aspects right from the beginning, so all it wanted to was to send Luo Feng to meet his doom. Then it could swallow his various true treasures to aid in its self-restoration. Now that the spirit of Shawu was born, it was simply impossible for white wings to help Luo Feng. It was well aware that he would trust the newborn spirit more than itself. Shawu continued gloating. You still hoping to find a master? A universe knight who possesses the willpower of a universe supreme master, going to you. Or perhaps a universe master who has even more terrifying willpower, finding its way to you. Ha ha. You are destined for annihilation. You are already clear about that. Yet you have no idea how you can help yourself. You want to escape, but you cannot move. Being a spirit could be such a tragedy, unable to control and move the true treasure by itself. I will find a new master. Then I will swallow you. You will die? Will die? The spirit of the white wings was going crazy. It did not really hate the human. On the contrary, it hated Shawu much more. It was destined that only one of the two would be able to survive. Time passed. I have already restored 30%. I have restored 40%. Master, I am halfway through restoration. In short intervals, Shawu would inform Luophone about its restoration progress in great excitement. In the blink of an eye, almost 30 hours had passed. This time around, Shawu wings had restored up to 90%. Luophone was in awe. Nearly 30 hours. This is enough energy to swallow a large quantity of blade rays anytime, and also energy that an existence such as one beyond the level of Universe Supreme Master would have stored after conversion through the origin. This sort of energy, beyond the level of a Universe Supreme Master, was rarely seen. Those towering, gigantic white wings and 4 silver wings, scattered over an area of numerous light years, were facing each other across a distance. Countless blade rays from the gigantic white wings flew toward the silver wings. At first glance, the gigantic white wings were unaffected. However, upon a comparison of its current state compared to 30 hours ago, the gigantic white wings had actually shrunk by quite a bit. Their diameter was reduced by half a light year, which went to show how many blade rays it had lost. Damn! Damn you, I will eat you. For sure. The white wings were at a loss for words. It could only resort to cursing and swearing at this point. Come on, come on. Shawu wings continued to gloat. Shawu transmitted a piece of news suddenly. Master, I have completed the self-restoration process. Luophone was momentarily shocked but soon grew ecstatic. After a day and a half. After spending a day and a half absorbing those high-level blade rays, where every blade ray had an attack force stronger than any Universe Supreme Master, the 2 pairs of wings could finally be fully restored. Completed? Your powers have been restored. Luophone was filled with anticipation. Yes, yes, yes. I'm in perfect condition. Shawu wings replied right away. However, as I only make up 2 pairs out of the 6 pairs of wings, Master will at most only be able to execute 2 kinds of techniques. Of course, these 2 pairs of wings had already reached a pinnacle state, so even if one owned the complete 6 pairs of wings but was only able to activate the first and second form of the wings, it would make no difference from what Master is capable of with your 2 pairs of wings. Luophone was shocked. Shawu, do you mean I am still only able to activate only 2 techniques? It's just that the power levels will be greatly increased? That's right, Master. Previously, I was severely damaged, so even when godly power activated the secret engravings that flowed past every part of me, the work done was half the amount of effort put in, as I could only wield a small part of my power. And now, I am able to unleash my power to its full potential. Luophone understood the moment he heard what Shawu had to say. It was just like machines. A worn-out machine's performance might only be left with 10 to 20%, while at its peak, it was always performing at its best. Are you still swallowing the blade rays? Luophone asked. I am no longer able to, Shawu said helplessly. Previously, when I still had some damaged parts, I would swallow those blade rays. After swallowing them, they would be automatically absorbed and used up to restore my original form. Now that I am fully restored, even if I were able to swallow them, there would be no way I could use them, so they would fly out from within me. It is also because, within my body, there is no place for me to store those blade rays. The origin is where the blade rays can be stored. Only through the origin could one control these blade rays. Luophone sighed. It is a pity that previously, Master was unable to get the pair of white wings to summon the origin out, said Shawu. If the origin came out alone, Master would be able to trap it within Star Tower. Without the origin, the pair of white wings would not be able to put up any form of resistance, and Master would be able to keep it inside Star Tower. And then Master could slowly hone and build up his willpower. When the time is right, Master could facilitate the recognizing of its master. Shawu added on in a helpless tone, now, there is nothing Master can do anymore. Luo Feng nodded. It was true. He had wasted too much time with those white wings, putting in a lot of effort, and although he was aware that the white wings had lain traps all over, he still tolerated it all. Yet the white wings maintained due vigilance and did not let the true core origin step out into the open. What should we do? Luo Feng was frustrated. There is nothing we can do, we can only leave it here, Shawu said. With the origin here, no one would be able to move that pair of white wings. The situation would be like Star Tower in the battlefields of the outer domain back when no one could get it to move. Luo Feng nodded. He had used Star Tower to ram into the pair of white wings, but even that had not caused the pair of white wings to move at all. It is a spirit, so it does not have the ability to manipulate the white wings into sneaking away, Shawu said. In addition, it has such stringent requirements when it comes to recognizing someone as its master. I do not believe that within such a short period of time, a Universe Knight with the willpower of a Universe Supreme Master would appear. Chance upon this pair of white wings, and make it to them alive. As for a Universe Master, to achieve the willpower of one beyond a Universe Supreme Master, that is even more unrealistic. Shawu was very confident in his beliefs. Well, I guess we can only do that. For now, we will leave it there. Luo Feng nodded. However, I am in no hurry to leave. Luo Feng was within Star Tower, smilingly looking at the pair of white wings that was not too far away. The endless, crazy oppressive willpower was still attacking him, never stopping for even an instant. This holy ground for honing my willpower is more than I could ever ask for. Although there are such places in Universe Ocean, to be able to get to those places, the paths would be fraught with danger. The 4 silver wings that were extended out from Star Tower via 4 passageways speedily shrank to naught. Even Star Tower shrank to such a small size until it was no more than a speck of dust. Within this quiet space, the white wings and Star Tower faced each other across a distance. The distance between them was slowly closing. Human, you are going to regret this. The white wings were going a little crazy. Yet it was, after all, just a spirit. It could only helplessly watch everything happening before its very eyes. Years went by. Luo Feng was doing his best to hone his willpower. There were times when he would occasionally stop midway to study the diagrams of secret engravings, Beast God Path, especially when his remote ocean body was wandering about Earth and various other planets. The many experiences and feelings that he had gained from life had made Luo Feng even more steadfast when fighting against the impact of that oppressive willpower. In the blink of an eye, 1,200 years had passed. The pair of white wings and Star Tower, which had been gradually advancing toward one another, finally met for the first time. Star Tower attached itself to the white wings like fine dust. To be more exact, this speck of fine dust, Star Tower, had found a spot on one of the bloodstains on the white wings. That bloodstain had a diameter of 0.5 meter and exuded a crazy and terrifying aura. Luo Feng, who was sitting cross-legged, opened his eyes, as he saw the bloodstain that was right outside Star Tower. Finally touched it. To think that just the willpower and aura of a bloodstain could be so terrifying. Is this the most powerful attack from the bloodstains on the wing? Luo Feng talked to Shawu on his back. Shawu, can I make that wing recognize me as its master? Shawu knew it better than anyone else. After all, Shawu was a part of that true treasure. Not even close, said Shawu. Master, you have indeed improved your willpower over the past 1,200 years, and it's top-tier level among Universe Masters now. However, turning from a Universe Master to a Universe Supreme Master is a fundamental change. And the willpower will be changed fundamentally as well. You're still very far. Luo Feng was still calm. After all, he'd gained a lot. The past 1,200 years had sharpened his mind better than the 100 million years in Beast God Sector. He had to admit that the high pressure was a good way to sharpen his willpower. However, if he stayed under such high pressure for too long, his willpower would be damaged as well. It was a double-edged sword. Willpower wasn't like law comprehension. Law comprehension required certain steps, while willpower needed the strength from the inside. It's been 1,000 years, said Luo Feng. Time to go. Luo Feng took a look at the white wing and started to drive Star Tower. There were too many dangerous places in Universe Ocean. There were already all sorts of powers and hazards in the three lands of extremis. There were many places in the lands of extremis to sharpen his willpower. A ripple came at him. Human. I'll make you and your wing regret it. Next time when I come here, I'll take you, Luo Feng replied through his mind ripple. Impossible. Don't count on it. Star Tower left, and Luo Feng stopped worrying about the white wing. Just as the great beings in the original universe weren't able to deal with Star Tower, Luo Feng wasn't able to deal with the white wing. It could happen to any universe supreme master. Next time, Luo Feng thought. Shawu Wing has changed sharply. Let me test its power now. The force of Shawu Wing could rival that of a top-tier pinnacle true treasure, and it might be able to match a strange object. I'll try now. Golden Country. Luo Feng burned his godly power. Quietly. A thin veil of golden light showed up and covered the entire mysterious space. It had a radius of 80 light years, much larger than that wing space. However, there were still blade storms around the white wing, so even Golden Country wasn't able to control the space and time there. It was only able to control the stable space and the space between the rocks. Too powerful. Luo Feng was thrilled. He felt that Golden Country, performed with the pinnacle status of his Shawu wings, could rival the combination of Miniature Universe, the previous Golden Country, and Flame Ocean. Luo Feng was exhilarated. He had a weaker godly power than other universe masters. Golden Country might actually be able to rival the strange object godly would. Huh? What's that? Luo Feng was dazed. He didn't have time to exclaim but was a bit shocked. Golden Country enveloped the entire mysterious space, and it penetrated the rocks on the edge. As a result, he discovered another cave portal. Another cave portal? Where does it lead? That's right, the white wing wouldn't have come out of nowhere. It must have flown from someplace. Thoughts flooded Luo Feng's mind. I'll go check. Luo Feng made up his mind instantly. He was afraid that the new portal would be discovered by other great beings, and he was curious as well. Luo Feng flew to the cave portal using Star Tower, but it still took him more than a month to get there. There's light screen here also. It was a red cave portal, and Star Tower went through the light screen and entered a dark portal. Star Tower kept flying. It went through 9 light screens, after which there were no more light screens. Star Tower kept flying carefully. Cardinal Portal. Luo Feng stayed in Star Tower, driving along the 100-kilometer Cardinal Portal. He didn't dare venture the outside. Instead, he sent out his Mosha body first. Mosha body flew out of Star Tower and flew in front of it. Mosha body and Star Tower moved along the Cardinal Portal as Luo Feng kept Golden Country on an area of 10 billion square kilometers and tried to watch out for anything dangerous. So hot. Mosha body flew along the portal, and the heated air made him feel extremely uncomfortable. Cardinal Crag. Mosha body flew to the crag and touched it with his hands. A strange heat was transferred through the palm of Mosha body, and his arm came off like a melted candle. The heat immediately circulated in his body, and his body trembled. Half of his body bounced away. After that, Life Core showed up and made up the godly body. I have the godly body of a universe knight, said Mosha body, staring at the crag in surprise. This strange heat is able to burn me? I must move forward. Luo Feng got more curious. Mosha body and Star Tower kept going forward at high speed. At times, they teleported themselves 1 billion kilometers away. So far, I've been moving along the portal for several light years. Luo Feng was amazed. Throughout the portal, he sometimes ran into branching paths, so he naturally chose the largest path. The brains of great beings worked extremely quickly, so it was easy for them to remember maps. He kept moving forward. The wing space should be at the edge of the main mountain of Tilted Mountain Sector, thought Luo Feng. Now that I've moved several light years inside, I've entered the mountainside, haven't I? The main mountain was towering and mysterious in Tilted Sector, and there were caves leading to the outer world. Sometimes, there were true treasures flowing into the water area. Usually, lots of great beings didn't dare go into the mountainside because it was too dangerous. Luo Feng dared to do so, as he had Star Tower and was curious about the origin of the white wings. After a long time, there were lots of forks in the road, and Luo Feng kept choosing the largest branch to move forward. The farther he went, the higher the temperature became. Luo Feng even put back his Mosha body as the heat outside was high enough to burn Mosha body to ashes. Rumor has it that the inner area of Tilted Peak Sector is extremely dangerous, even Primal Chaos City leader might die here. As for the core area, even Universe Supreme Masters might die. Luo Feng was intimidated. The heat is able to burn a Universe Knight. How terrifying the mountainside is. Star Tower was able to resist material attacks and guard souls, which was why Luo Feng dared to venture forward. What's at the end of these caves? Luo Feng wondered. After 30 light years of flying, he finally saw the end. Star Tower arrived at a place that looked like a cast cave, an eroded section of cave with crevices and towers of stone. The white flames were flowing, and hundreds of flaming branches were intersecting each other, forming this enormous cast cave, extending to an unknown destination. There were red, cyan, and grey halos on the magma, and endless flames emanated from deep within the cave. The space was quite intact, there were no space ripples. Teleportation was impossible here. Luo Feng tried to extend a trace of godly power out, but it was immediately annihilated. Even Universe Masters would die here without armor to protect them, Luo Feng whispered. I came here through the cave. Is this an inner area or the core? Luo Feng moved his mind. Star Tower moved forward and touched the flames. The fire burned Star Tower, but nothing changed in Star Tower. No wonder it's a supreme true treasure. Luo Feng exclaimed. It was as he'd expected. After all, supreme true treasures wouldn't be damaged even in the lands of extremists. Although he had seen the broken white wing, that was the result of an unknown war. Such an enormous cave. Luo Feng didn't dare go along the branches as he feared that he might not be able to make it back. Luo Feng kept flying Star Tower through the cave. Star Tower didn't even enter the flames. The stone pillars stay intact under those flames, Luo Feng observed. How bizarre. He found that although those stone pillars appeared ordinary, the sand on the stone pillars could reflect light. It was as if there were many distinct spaces here. Star Tower disappeared in front of a stone pillar and showed up outside. There is a separate space within each of the sand. Luo Feng was bewildered. Star Tower entered a separate space after only touching the sand. It was an arid space. Luo Feng got out immediately as he had completely comprehended the law of space. Those stone pillars might be made of lots of grains of sand, and there is a space in each grain of the sand, realized Luo Feng. What are those stone pillars? I've never heard of such a thing. Is it an extremely dangerous place in Tilted Peak Sector, so maybe no great beings of the human race have ever entered it? Luo Feng was baffled, as there were no records of these stone pillars. One pillar in particular immediately Luo Feng's attention. What is that? This video will end here.